evening and welcome to the evening news for Thursday, March 19, 2015. I'm Petty Santos. Thank you for joining us. In your headlines this evening, bandits escape with guns, cash in multi-million-dollar heist. APNU AFC manifesto launch set for April 10. President not likely to participate in UGSS debate. TUF executive reflects on rigged elections. Vote like a boss campaign to be launched amid controversy. And government welcomes opposition's turnaround on Amelia Falls hydroelectric project. And now for the news in detail. At least 8 weapons and $15 million were removed from a safe belonging to the National Credit Union and CARICOM Insurance Company located at Regent and Ornock Streets, Georgetown, by 3 armed men in the wee hours of Thursday morning. Here is more from Bisham Mohammed.
According to information received, the 3 men armed with handguns attacked the security guard on duty, proceeded to tie him up and ransacked the office, where they discovered the money and weapons in a safe in the upper flat of the building. Investigators are presently treating the robbery as an inside job, on the basis that only the persons on the inside are aware of the location of the safe and its content. A police source told Evening News that the matter was initially reported as a break-and-enter, but after arriving at the scene, they were greeted by the security guard who was bounded. He stated that at least 8 shotguns and 3 revolvers were taken by the bandits, who made good their escape. The police rank forward stated that the security guard was questioned and released. He is reportedly traumatized due to the incident. Upon questioning, the security guard reportedly told investigators that before entering the building, the men disarmed the surveillance cameras that were placed at strategic location. The man explained from all indications the bandits knew exactly where the cameras were, which was quite interesting. The 3 men, he noted, were wearing masks. The man was bounded by a quantity of telephone cables, but after the men left, he managed to untie himself and telephone his supervisor, who in turn alerted the police. A short while later, the police along with his supervisor arrived on the scene and an investigation was launched. They have since dusted the area for fingerprints. The police will also be requesting additional surveillance footage from nearby buildings as they continue their investigations. Bisham Mohammed, Evening News.
Newly formed Partnership for National Unity, Alliance for Change, the APNU-AFC coalition, is set to launch its election manifesto on April 10, 3 days after nomination day. This is according to General Secretary of the Alliance for Change, David Patterson. According to Patterson, the 2 parties have been able to pull together their policies, and these will be revealed in the document. He promised that there will be many surprises, and Guyanese can expect a good life should the coalition win the majority at the upcoming polls. He refused, however, to give any specific detail as to what the parties will be bringing to the table. Given the outcome of the last presidential debate organized by the University of Ghana's Student Society, President Donald Ramotar is not likely to participate in the event this year. More in this report.
The University of Guyana Student Society is in the process of planning another debate between the presidential candidates of major political parties who will be contesting the upcoming general and regional elections slated for May 11. The objectives of that exercise would be to provide a forum for discussion and interaction between students and representatives of political parties, and to enable political parties to present issues of national development as outlined in their manifestos. However, President Donald Ramotar may not participate in another debate organized by that body. During the last debate, Ramotar was in an unfair environment as the audience for the event consisted mainly of opposition supporters who did not give him a chance to speak.
We have the people and the political will to do these things.
This is how we will proceed.
His voice was drowned out by the heckling of the supporters, causing the entire event to flop. Ramotar had recently stated that he is up to the challenge of debating his policies on a public platform. However, he will not take part in the debate unless it is organized by his campaign team. Despite this, UGSS President Joshua Griffith is optimistic that the president will participate in this debate. Reporting for the Evening News, Davina Samaru.
Executive member of the United Force Party, Mertland Williams, during a recent interview, reflected on his experience during the days when the People's National Congress Party rigged the general and regional elections. Here's more in this report.
Mortland Williams, who has been with the United Force Party for approximately 58 years, reflected on his experience on an elections day sometime in the 1960s, where the PNC troops came in to rig the elections.
I was a polling agent there. The candidate was a man named Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore. At around 5:30 that afternoon, 4 busloads of people came in. They came into the building. They came into the building, the Campbell Government School polling place. And the returning officer gave them pencil. They started to go around the table, signing paper, and going around and signing, going around. Then put it all in the box to go around the signing.
There's a voting on ballot papers.
Ballot on ballot papers, yeah. But it was just a set of people going around, about 30, 40 people going around on ballot papers.
Williams then explained that the representatives of the political parties at that time were from the PNC, the People's Progressive Party, and the TUF. He then described each person's reaction to the disorder before them.
I turned to the PNC guy, I said, what are we going to do about this? We started to object. After they would have finished. When they finished taking all these papers, they threw it into the boxes, right? We started to behave very bad.
That's you and the...
And the PPP guy. Soldiers came and they held us up. They took the box away. They took the boxes away. And they had us there.
Williams contended that they were supposed to go with the boxes, but they were denied that right by the persons in charge of the electoral process. Today, TUF is headed by attorney-at-law Marissa Nadir. At the last general election in 2011, the party lost the only seat it held in parliament after failing miserably at the electoral polls. Out of 300,000 electors casting their ballots on elections day, only 885 voted for the party, which has been within the political ambit since 1950. Reporting for the Evening News, Davina Samaru.
Stay with us. You're watching the Evening News. Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. A Chinese-owned company will be in Guyana for a week to carry out preliminary study for a deep water harbor in Berbice. Here's more in this report.
The Chinese State Construction Engineering Company Limited in Latin America and Caribbean region will be in Guyana as of March 23 to conduct a study in the area of the mouth of the Berbice River. The possibility of Guyana having a deep water harbor has been lingering for years. In 2013, the Inter-American Development Bank had approved a grant of $1.5 million to fund studies required to prepare a road link to Brazil and a deep water port project. Meanwhile, in a statement, the Prime Minister Samuel Hines said the study will be carried out at the company's expense and without any obligations on the part of the government. The study will be a follow-up on a memorandum of understanding between the government of Guyana and the Chinese company. The chief representative of the company, Zyle David Zhang, would be accompanied by a technical team to carry out the study. Incidentally, if a deep water port on the BOOT basis, that is a build, own, operate and transfer basis, was to appear feasible, the government will then proceed by way of an open invitation for proposals. Reporting for the Evening News, Davina Samaru.
The Ghana National Youth Council will be launching its Vote Like a Boss campaign amid continued controversy. Here is more from Devendra Kissoon.
The Guyana National Youth Council will be launching its Vote Like a Boss campaign on Saturday, 21st of March 2015 at 9 hours. The campaign will be launched amid continued controversy surrounding the real intention behind the initiative and its principals, who have come in for heavy criticisms from the Progressive Youth Organization. A representative of the PYO had said the PYO believes that the GNYC is deeply rooted in political interests and affiliations to opposition groups in our society, which are desperately trying to access executive powers through dubious means. Additionally, Clement Rohi, General Secretary of the PPPC, had said the organization is claiming to represent Guyana's youth and has no authority to do so. The PPP is still concerned that the GNYC is an offspring of the U.S. lead project, who are hijacking the name Guyana National Youth Council. According to the GNYC, the Vote Like a Boss campaign is created to educate youths in Guyana about the electoral processes and to encourage them to vote at the upcoming 2015 general and regional elections. The Guyana National Youth Council says its objective is to get young people to vote and not to encourage them to vote for any particular political party. Representatives of the PYO, however, remains adamant that the launch of a campaign of this nature without answers to the questions raised by the PYO would be excluding thousands of youths from what is supposed to be a national exercise. Devendra Kisoon reporting for the Evening News.
The opposition's move to now throw its support behind the Amelia Falls hydropower project has been lauded by government, with Cabinet Secretary Dr. Luncheon saying that the project will be good for Guyana under any government. Here is more from Alexis Rodney.
Luncheon told the media yesterday that he is happy that the renewable energy agenda of the APNU has found favor with the Amelia Falls hydro project.
As the old people say, a rose by any name is still a rose. So Amelia Falls hydropower, all of PPP administration, all of AFC, that I don't know, APNU, I don't know what is the AFC position, if it is sustained from the debacle during the 10th Parliament. It is, to my mind, some convergence.
Opposition leader David Granger earlier this week confirmed a report by General Secretary Joseph Harman that the party will be supporting the energy project if it is successful at this year's general and regional elections. Both the Partnership for National Unity and the Alliance for Change had, during the budget presentation last year, voted against a $16.4 billion allocation towards the equity of the project. The project remained stalled with the contractor Blackstone and Scythe Global indicating that it will not move ahead unless the political players of the country fully agree on it. Luncheon said the new information speaks well in this regard.
And if you recall, Blackstone and Scythe Global held out that when the government and the political opposition were at one, we will feel more confident in moving forward with this investment. The PPPC and the major opposition party seem now to be saying we are in favor of going ahead with Amelia Falls. It's a plus for me, where investors are concerned.
The construction of the 165 MW hydroelectric facility creates an opportunity for Guyana to generate its own power from a clean and natural source. The plant, located at where the Carabrong rivers meet, will deliver electricity to Georgetown and Linden. According to Luncheon, government anticipates that work will commence before the end of this year. For the Evening News, Alexis Rodney.
Stay with us. More news on the other side of the break. If you've just joined us, you're watching the Evening News. After years of diluted information and ineffective sensitization programs on sickle cell diseases, a local sickler has embarked on an initiative to establish a new organization with the drive of raising awareness on this dreaded chronic illness. Here is more in this report.
Sabrina Perry-Kazim is working closely with the Chief Executive Officer of the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, Michael Kahn, to set up a new organization to combat the insensitivity that surrounds the sickle cell disease in Guyana. Currently, she is awaiting the CEO's approval, which will come in during the first week of April. Afterwards, the organization will be officially launched in the second week of April. The name of the organization will be Fight Against Sickle Cell Syndrome. The organization aims to work with other existing organizations to improve the awareness program on sickle cell diseases. Meanwhile, according to Perry-Kazim, most patients are unsatisfied with the treatment received by the health care providers in the country. Powerful pain medications such as morphine are used to treat the intense and sudden episodes that accompany this illness, but physicians are reluctant to liberally prescribe those narcotic medications as they can be highly addictive. Because of this, patients have to experience prolonged hours of excruciating pain. Additionally, the president of the Guyana Sickle Cell Association, Errol London, explained that because of the system in place at the Georgetown Public Hospital, persons with noticeable severe injuries are admitted before persons with sickle cell diseases. While he noted his understanding of the system, London said sicklers are experiencing excruciating pain while waiting to be admitted. In addition, waiting in a cold, air-conditioned room only worsens the situation, as sicklers are very sensitive to the cold environments. Incidentally, this new organization intends to work closely with the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, the Guyana Sickle Cell Association, among other organizations, to raise awareness and address these issues and develop means of making Guyanese more knowledgeable of the sickle cell disease. Reporting for the Evening News, Davina Samaru.
Government is still awaiting official word from international observer groups to participate in this year's regional and general elections. The details in the story.
This is according to Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Lenchen. While there has been no official word from the groups as yet, he said government is hoping to have the observers here from as early as nomination day. Included in the list of invitees to participate in the elections are the governments of India and South Africa, other bodies that are usually involved in elections here, including the United Nations, CARICOM, the Organization of American States, Commonwealth, UNISAR, the Carter Center, and the United Kingdom branch of the Parliamentary Association. He said so far the results have been promising.
You are aware of the recently concluded visit of the UN team that conducted the needs assessment. The report, that is, a report of which is being awaited by the government of Guyana. You are aware that, as is customary, the CARICOM and the OAS and the Commonwealth are expected to field observer missions.
Luncheon said government is seeking to have the bodies present in Guyana before and after the elections. However, how soon before and how long after the observers will be present is a decision that has to be made by them.
What you might not be aware of is our efforts to have the presence of electoral observer missions long before the actual ED, so that indeed the period of observation antedates the day of election and indeed extend well beyond that day too.
Elections experts and long-term observers usually begin their work weeks before the actual election day, observing candidate registration, the legal framework, the media situation, the work of the election administration, and the campaign environment. On elections day, short-term observers monitor the opening of polling stations, the vote cast, and the counting and tabulation of results. After the elections, observers remain in the country for another few weeks to monitor how effective election-related shortcomings and complaints are dealt with by the election administration and the judiciary. For the Evening News, Alexis Rodney.
Stay with the Evening News. Your regional and international news are next. Welcome back, and here's what's happening in the region. The General Assembly of the Organization of American States, the OAS, on Wednesday elected the permanent representative of Belize, Ambassador Nestor Mendez, as the next Assistant Secretary General to the Hemispheric Institution. The OAS said that the election of Ambassador Mendez took place in the vote in which he obtained 24 votes from the member states, compared to 10 received by the permanent representative to Guyana, Beni Karan. And internationally, Colorado police say a woman stabbed a pregnant mother in the stomach and took her unborn child. The victim, who was 7 months pregnant, is likely to survive following surgery, but the baby died. The pregnant woman was visiting the suspect's home to buy baby clothes that had been advertised on Craigslist. Police said the suspect, Dani Catrice Lane, took the baby to a hospital where she claimed that she had a miscarriage. Police have arrested Miss Lane, aged 34, on charges including first-degree murder, according to local media reports. She did not know the victim. And in 2012, Valentin Gruner rescued a young lion cub and raised it himself at a wildlife park in Botswana. It was the start of an extraordinary relationship. Now, an astonishing scene is repeated each time they meet. The young lion leaps on Gruner and holds him in an affectionate embrace. Since the lion arrived, which is 3 years now, he hasn't really left the camp. The lion he has devoted himself to is Sirga, a female cub he rescued from a holding pen established by a farmer who was fed up with shooting animals that preyed on his cattle. The lions had been killed, and two others of the cubs inside. The lions had killed the 2 other cubs inside of the cage, and the mother abandoned the remaining cub. She was very tiny, maybe about 10 days old. The farmer, Willie de Graaf, asked Gruner to try to save her, and so he took her to a wildlife park financed by de Graaf and became her adoptive mother, feeding her and taking care of her. She's much bigger now, but when Gruner opens her cage, she still rushes to greet him, ecstatically throwing her paws around his neck. Here now are your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbour Bridge is expected to be closed at 5 hours on Friday, March 20, for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 16 hours 35 on Friday, March 20, for a period of 1.5 hours. Stay with us. Sport is next.
This is the machine you asked for, and it's what we are delivering. Introducing the new CAT D2 series.
Improvements made with you in mind. A mechanically controlled engine designed to cope with Guyana's toughest conditions. Lower fuel consumption and less maintenance, which reduces your owning and operating costs. The highest productivity in the market. Robust design, which is built to last. MacCorp, the only authorized Caterpillar dealer in Guyana, bringing integrated solutions for your success. Let's build Guyana together.
Welcome back, and now for a look at your sport headlines. India extend unbeaten run to land semi-final spot. Banks DIH on board for international football friendly. East Coast Guinness Street Football off to an exciting start, and Hits and Jams Day of Sport set for March 29. Defending champions India coasted into the World Cup semi-finals with a 109-run win over Bangladesh in Melbourne. Opener Rohit Sharma made it composed 137 from 126 balls and Suresh Raina 65 from 57 as India recovered from 115 for 3 to post 302 for 6 at a boisterous MCG. Bangladesh lost 2 wickets in the 7th over of the reply and eventually limped to 193 all out in 45 overs as India's bowlers dominated. India will now meet either Australia or Pakistan in a Sydney semi-final on March 26. Let's now take a look at the highlights.
Two Asian teams, India and Bangladesh, take on each other. Great start.
And the big shot was always coming. Oh, has he edged that? Yes, he has. They've been consistent all the time. This could be it. Big moment. Well played. Wow. Oh, he's got a lot on it. Fielder will watch it sail over. 50 comes up for Suresh Raina. Oh, fielder's inside the circle. Surely, there's 100 for Rohit Sharma.
That's gone up in the air. The keeper coming underneath it. It won't be easy.
Oh, beautiful. And they are going the distance. It's a long boundary again. Not long enough. Oh, bowled in. Back in his crease there. Back in his crease. It's gone up in the air. Should be taken. And he gets his Yorker, and it's been a good death over.
It's found the gap.
Oh, a bowl.
There was noise to the ball carry to Darney. Oh, this is complete misunderstanding. The throw has to be good. It's a good one.
Oh. There you go.
That's in the
air. This could be dangerous. Shikhar Dhawan is getting under his second attempt. Oh, I think he's done all right. He's gone for it. Long boundaries, but that's cleared the rope comfortably.
Oh, that's nicely done. It should be a boundary. Yes, it is.
Once again on the back foot, and a good catch by the Indian captain.
Was in the air and easily taken.
That's a good shot. It's in the air, and that will be a boundary.
Oh, it's gone straight up. Dhoni is keeping the glare of the lights away from his face and takes a simple catch.
Better pull shot this time, in front of square, and that'll go to the fence.
They've just been outplayed today and got him straight to cover.
Oh, good, isn't he? He's quick arm given. Up in the air, should be out. Taken, gone. It's a nice shot, but it's gone. Oh, at the second attempt. The catch is taken, and India joins South Africa in the semi-finals.
Banks DIH Limited has renewed its commitment to football by becoming the title sponsor of the Golden Jaguars' 2 home games against St. Lucia and Grenada over the next 2 weeks. Here is more from Avinash Ramzan.
Several Golden Jaguars players in the company of members of the technical staff and the normalization committee were in attendance at a press briefing earlier today at the Banks DIH Sports Club, where the company announced its full sponsorship of the 2 games. The entity has thrown its support behind the games through its Banks Beer and Coca-Cola brands, and according to Chairman of the Normalization Committee, Clinton Erling, the backing from the company is critical for football at this time.
The Guyana Football Federation is very pleased to partner with Banks DIH, such an esteemed institution, cooperative institution, and we look forward to the future in terms of collaborating with Banks DIH and other cooperative stakeholders as we take Guyana's football forward.
Banks Beer brand manager Brian Chuhan said the company is more than enthused to back the national ball weavers, noting that its expectations are high for the games.
I'm feeling the vibes that Guyana is going to be taking home both of the matches that will be played this Sunday on the 22nd against St. Lucia, as well as against Grenada.
Head coach Jamal Shabazz says while the ultimate aim is to chalk up 2 wins, the games will also serve to give the technical staff a fair idea of the progress the team has made since the Barbados friendly on February 1.
These 2 matches coming up is for us a very, very, very important time to test the work that we have started to do and to test some players and to see how they adapt to the approach that we are making.
Meanwhile, we caught up with a few players who were upbeat about the Golden Jaguars' chances over the next 2 weekends.
In comparison to the Barbados game, the team now is a lot fitter and a lot sharper, and you can tell in training from the intensity there's a lot more cohesion, there's a lot more quality, and the intensity is definitely a lot higher than previous to the Barbados game, because we know that we came into the Barbados game probably not as fit a team as we should have been, but I think now the team's a lot sharper than it was then.
It's been a great experience so far. I've just been trying to do the best that I can and work my way into the team. We have a pretty good squad coming into this, so just been working hard. Before I even came here, I was working hard on my own to try to stay as fit as I can, and when I got here to build my way into the team because I know that I could play. But it's been lovely, a learning experience to say the least, and yeah, it's just been an overall good experience.
Coaching staff, real good, so the players working hard for ensure that we come out victorious in this game. And we get there's a local based team playing the first game. It's an opportunity for the young players them to showcase themselves for Borsan to the final preparation for the World Cup qualifier. So it's a point the players have to prove, so they're going to come out and put the best foot forward to ensure that they get on a spot on the final team.
The Golden Jaguars will play St. Lucia on Sunday and Grenada on March 29, and admission to the National Stadium is $1,000 for general seating and $4,000 for VIP. Children under 12 will be admitted free.
Paradise and Plaisance A stitched together convincing wins to start the East Coast leg of the Guinness Streets football competition on a positive note last evening at the Haslington Market Square tarmac. Here is more from Avinash Ramzan.
In the opening match of the night, Paradise inflicted a 4-1 defeat on Churchyard United to start their campaign on a highly successive note. Jamal Garnett opened the scoring for Paradise in the 17th minute and quickly doubled the advantage with another goal a minute later. It soon became 3-0 when Christopher Adams found the back of the net, while Jermaine Clark further compounded Churchyard United's misery with a goal in the 23rd minute. Rolex Govaya avoided a complete humiliation with a consolation goal for Churchyard United. In Game 2, Plaisance A outplayed Myconi United 3-0, with Warren Gills getting on the score sheets as early as the 2nd minute of play. Theon Lowe made it 2-0 in the 9th minute before Carlos Matthews scored in the 13th to complete the win. Bedford Acting B emerged with a 2-0 win over Ansgrove Punters, with Treon Petrie and Erin Hunter scoring in the space of 2 minutes, while Buxton won 2-1 on penalties against Plaisance B after they played to a 0-all stalemate. In the other game of the night, Nabaklis edged Victoria Eagles 2-1, with Alamo Jack and Sedestri Huntley scoring for Nabaklis and Kishon Alfred netting for Victoria Eagles. The competition will continue on Friday with 8 games at the same venue, with action set to commence at 19 hours.
And finally, Hits and Jams Entertainment is set to host its 2nd annual Day of Sport on March 29 at the Police Sports Club ground, Evaleri. Here is more from Tristan Joseph.
The organizers broke the news on Tuesday during a press conference, highlighting that, as was the case last year, Team Lightning will go against Team Quick, as well as other organizations such as a combined media team to determine an overall winner of the event. Directors of HJ, Rolf Ferguson and Corinne Ballers, expressed their gratitude to their sponsors of the event, while highlighting that their aim is to provide the populace with a chance to mingle with the entertainers, influential figures and media representatives.
The Entertainment Day of Sports pretty much is geared a day of fun pretty much for all involved in entertainment, from artists to producers to promoters, members of the media. It's a day we want to just set aside pretty much to have a day of fun, to just come out and relax from what the norm is, and also give the members of the public an opportunity to pretty much engage and have fun with some of these members from the various organizations.
Meanwhile, HJ cancelled their annual Boom concert that was scheduled for Sunday in an effort to encourage Guyanese to support the Golden Jaguars football team's clash with St. Lucia at the National Stadium Providence. In addition, both organizers extended the courtesy of free advertisement to the Normalization Committee of the Guyana Football Federation for the clash with St. Lucia, as well as the clash with Grenada set for March 29. The day of sport is expected to begin from 10:00 hours.
This segment of Sport is sponsored by Macorp.
In 1998, we started training technicians. 16 years on, we have trained 692 operators and technicians. Being an equipment technician and operator, whether day or night, sun or rain, wherever I go, I am driven by your expectations.
I was trained by Macro, and no matter the task, I am ready.
And that has brought us to the end of the evening news for today, Thursday, March 19, 2015. Do remember to get a copy of tomorrow's edition of the Ghana Times newspaper for the details of these stories and other news. I'm Petty Santos. Thank you for joining us.
You can get a second look at some of the stories carried this evening on our newscast. Add us on Facebook at Evening News TVG. You can also view our news reports on our YouTube channel, TVG Evening News. Additionally, you can send us messages and news tips on social media or via telephone numbers 680-9630, 231-0382 or 226-2102.